we start, or as we begin the second segment of the conversation. Today, we're looking at the future of education, innovation, and of course, self-reliance in Nigeria and Lagos. Joining us is a dynamic voice, Yusuf Adetimirin. He's a former Lagos State University student leader and a passionate advocate for education advancement. Yusuf has been vocal about the need for Nigerian youths to embrace skills that foster self-reliance and has lauded President Tinubu's policies in education and agriculture, with his readiness to support initiatives like the Niger Education Clinic. We're excited to hear his insight on driving quality and accessible education. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Let's start with the Niger Education Clinic. What is it all about?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Niger Education Clinic, NEC, it's a reformative education. It's actually an education to support the policy of Mr. President in changing the paradigm of Nigeria, shifting our economy from monolithic structure, which is oil and gas, to domestic environment, like agriculture, like the manufacturing industry, like servicing segment. So this is actually a 21st century education, because education has moved from brick to click. So, and you could imagine that to plant a tomato, they need to, import the seed to plant a tomato in Nigeria. And in Nigeria of a population of 250 million citizens, and India, which is the most populous nation in the world of 1.3 billion, we have out-of-school children more than India. That is very alarming. So we need to address the out-of-school children. The economy policy crisis we are facing in Nigeria now started in 1970, when we actually earned so much in petrodollar. And due to our conspicuous consumption, we failed to diversify this economy. So we so much rely on oil. And oil is not a nation market. It is a global market. So a country cannot control the price of oil production. We have currency depreciation, we have currency devaluation, we have currency, redomination. What we are currently facing in Nigeria is currency depreciation. And what causes currency depreciation? When the demand is actually more than the supply. When we demand so much and we are supplying less. So you could imagine that, we have 100 bananas and we have 100,000. And we don't produce more bananas, and we have, another 100,000 joined to that, 100,000. There will surely be an inflation. Right. So, to almost what we eat, what our daily activities has actually been consumed by dollar influence. Right. So we need to demystify the influence of dollar on our national activities. That, we cannot actually do anything now without the influence of dollar. And that is what Mr. President is trying to do, to bring the modern education into life in Nigeria. He started this in 2002, when his passion for youth and, for children, when he is a pace setter for paying WAEC and NECO fee in Nigeria in 2002. And immediately he actually was the president of Nigeria. He made sure that he gave us, a student loan for, children, deprived children and underprivileged to be able to access education. But in all of this as a youth, we need to encourage him, because in I think we were about 1980 or 1985, there was actually an economic summit to address the economic challenges in Nigeria. They failed. The reason they failed is because they need more support. The government cannot be the market. They try to actually bring, exports, substitution strategy and import promotional strategy. That was in 1985 Economic Summit. But it did not succeed because the government alone can never take the responsibility of a developing nation. Right. And if you claim you are educated and you hate governance and you hate politics, that person is a fool.
Okay, Yusuf, let me quickly come in here. And then again, young people generally, this administration for them, you know, is the economy at the moment. A lot of people are not happy at the state of the economy. And so with the education clinic that you're floating, why are you tying this with Mr. President?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You know, the reason, you know, we are tying this with Mr. President is because, you know, there are these, you know, we've seen a lot of policy that has failed. And we've had several presidents that are not bold enough to take the courageous step Mr. President is currently taking. And there are a lot of attacks on him. So we must actually encourage and appreciate him, that indeed the youth are with him, and, you know, millions of children in Nigeria, they are actually with him, because his policy align with what we want to do. His vision align with what we want to do. So, you know, he is an advocate of good governance, and we can see that in Lagos State today.
Right.
So if we can actually follow his, you know, policy and, you know, decision, I'm sure that NEC will be a global, you know, learning center that, you know, even from USA, from UK, they will come down there to learn. Because this is a very massive global world-class learning center. It's going to be on 400 acres of land. And, you know, it's going to be free for deprived children. They won't pay anything. And the institution will not be like, you know, coming out to say, please come and give us money all the time. We are going to sustain that education through agricultural, you know, product.
Okay. This project, I didn't even go on. Because I was going to say that, I mean, the way you've painted this project is a very laudable project. But then funding is a big challenge. So how do you intend to ensure that this project that, you know, your pregnant wish will come to reality? How do you intend to drive this course? And the fact that, of course, you are looking at, you know, replicating the legacies of Mr. President through this Niger Education Clinic. How will this project,
and you just
how will it come to light?
Agriculture too.
Through agriculture.
Through agriculture. Right.
And so do you intend to, when this project commences, do you intend to also, you know, plant, sell your produce? Is that big enough to sustain this project?
Oh, thank you, ma'am. You've actually asked a very, you know, good question, because instruction without construction is destruction. So it's very much important for us to actually have a vision of where we are really going. So we are going to actually fund the project. You know, the starting is always the most difficult part of it. So, and the project is not something that will be in one place. The project will be in all 36 states. And I'm sure by this time next year, what we'll be sitting on, what we'll be wearing, will highly be influenced by domestic products. Because we are, you know, like the ideas of, you know, we have Mr. Big Wet Fertilizer, the project we have, you know, in strategic places in all 36 states, whereby people can actually access, you know, the product. So it's not something that will actually stay in one place.
But you will start from somewhere.
We will start from somewhere, man.
Okay. So what everybody has asked is that where do you intend to get money from to, you know,
execute this project?
Okay, ma'am. So actually, we've been working with the son of the president, who is Mr. Seyi Tinubu.
Okay.
So, and Iyaloja General, and some actually stakeholders in Lagos State. We've been working with them on the vision of the project, and we've been to the land. So, and hopefully the groundbreaking should start by January. So in the next probably 5 months to this time, we should actually commence
the building
on the center. So through the son of the president, because the son of the president, Mr. Seyi Tinubu, has always been a passionate, you know, person for the youth, and he's actually a great leader. So, and he has been supporting great ideas. You know, he even has a foundation whereby he supported and he sponsored, you know, deprived you know, children. So, and want to actually prove to them that in all challenges, money is not the basic solution to everything. Because if the knowledge is not there, then the money will not be sustained. Because the learning capacity will determine the earning capacity. So if we actually throw money at all challenges, then we will not be able to solve it. Then if we're actually bold enough and we actually have the right knowledge to actually put things together, I'm sure that the project will be a reality by the grace of God.
Would you want to put your phone on silent mode?
Yes,
because I realized that's not there.
Yes, I want. He said a lot during when he started answering some of our questions, and which is on the education system itself. You know, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the education sector here in Nigeria as of today?
Thank you, ma'am. You know, for instance, now we are actually facing food crisis in Nigeria. The question we need to ask ourselves is that, you know, the impact of education must be felt. Like I said earlier, education has moved from brick to click. Developed nations were saved by their scholars. No developed nations were actually saved by their political leaders. So the scholarly individuals need to move together. You know, the space between, you know, an individual can be a skilled person and not be educated. And an individual can be educated without being a skilled person. So the space between the society and the schooled people, the gap is too much. Whereby even if you should go to a, you know, tertiary institution, some of them, it is the outside, it is the gown that feed the town. Whereby the town is supposed to feed the gown. So for instance, we have food crisis in Nigeria now. I expect our scholarly individuals to come with, you know, workable ideas to meet with Mr. President. You know, all the time is not to antagonize, you know, the presidency. To actually, okay, Mr. President, this is an idea from, okay, School of Agric, okay, if you should have this. And they immediately they are feeling the impact that, no, okay, you've started something, okay, 4,000 or 5,000 acres of land, okay, to address the economy, you know, the food crisis in Nigeria. Okay, this is what we've been doing, you know. So we need more productive education. We need an education whereby, you know, the impact will be felt by an average individual in society.
Not just ending in the classrooms.
Exactly, ma'am. So, you know, the poverty rate in Nigeria is so high, you know, reason that we've abandoned the society a lot. So the scholarly individual need to move from the gown and move to the town to start doing something. You could imagine if we have, like, you know, Dangote and many other, you know, manufacturing industry in Nigeria, whereby they are not just going to abroad over there. So, you know, if they actually stay here to do, okay, what can we actually do?
What can we do for our country?
For our country to make this nation great. You know, we have like, you know, 50 and 100 that they started something, you know, we won't be where we are today.
So, before we allow you go this morning, I know that you are also very passionate about Nigeria, and you're also looking forward to young people also sharing this passion and not always criticizing government, but also contributing their own help where need be. So how much of that would you encourage young people to do further by being solution providers as against always complaining? So wherever you are as a young person, what should you be bringing on board?
Oh, thank you, ma'am. You know, like I do say earlier that we push, you know, many of our youth outside for protest. The funding for just a protest alone, you know, is almost billions of naira. Why can't we use that money? You know, protest, you can never use protest to address fundamental issue. So as a youth, I want to encourage our youth that they should not be an antagonist to the government, that we should actually come together to unite as one. Nigeria should come first, and they should believe in this administration. That instead of actually seeking, you know, international or national fund for, you know, protest, you know, whereby, you know, some people will just use them to earn for their own benefit, you know, for their own self-interest. So I want the youth to actually come together. You know, this hardship did not start today. So it started as our mistakes was actually made in 1970. And I believe Almighty God has blessed us with a courageous president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I'm very certain that very soon, Nigeria will start feeling the impact of the great policies Mr. President has been making, because we want to deepen the, you know, the policy. And I can assure you 100%, by this time, you know, we're in December now, today being 11th, by this time next year, what we'll be discussing next year will be, wow, okay, you open a big factory in Lagos State, and, you know, commissioned by the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Olusola Sanwo-Olu, wow. And you've been able to lift, you know, millions of children, you know, from where they are to a very global space.
Okay, Yusuf is very positive about this, and of course, today is 4th. He said 11th. You've taken us how many
4th.
days?
How many days?
Ahead of today is 4th. We wish you the very best in your project, and we do hope that when this project finally materializes, we will bring you back and then celebrate your success process. Thank you for being here on the program today. Adebimpe?
I just see the passion. He's so passionate about this country, and I just pray that you will do well. This project will also see the light of the day.
Amen.
Thank you for coming, Yusuf Adetimiri. He's a former student leader, and he's championing a cause towards education advancement. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
After this break, the conversation continues.